Jake Elliott, I will never, ever, ever say anything bad about you ever again. 61 yards. Are you kidding me? You little pipsqueak. I can't believe it. You shrimp. You just bailed Doug Peterson out again. Unbelievable. 61 yards. 27-24. Eagles win it. I can't believe it. This is, oh my God. In a game where you had two dopes out-doping each other. A game, a dumb and dumber between two idiots, Ben McAdoo and Doug Peterson. It's Jake Elliott with the final nail in the Giants' coffin. 0-3, 0-2 in the division. You're done. Done. Wow. I'm going solo today. It's Adrian Fedke. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to do a show later with EDP. So we're going to do that. That'll be a lot of fun later, especially now. 61 yards, baby. There's a lot to get into in this game, though. Oh, my God. I'm so pumped right now. I almost lost my breath. 61 yards. I've never seen anything like that. Jake freaking Elliott. Caleb Sturgis. Yeah, I guess he's not going to be welcome back anymore. But, oh, my goodness. So, honestly, it never should have had to reach this point in the first place. The Eagles should have won this game comfortably, I thought. And then shit just got crazy in the second half. So I thought, coming out of the break, that the Eagles were going to run with Garrett Blount a lot up the middle. And Doug just kept going to Smallwood, and Clement had a good game. But Smallwood and Clement were getting the carries, and I'm just like, what are you doing, Doug? And then all of a sudden, Giants, they tied up. And then all of a sudden, we got this back and forth craziness until the final whistle. Like, Jesus, should have never even had to come to that. You know what I mean? So the Giants were able to exploit the Eagles' secondary because the pressure wasn't getting to Eli. They were getting the ball out. So the pressure was negated this week. And they were able to pick on Mills, pick on the guys. I got to calm down. I'm out of breath after the opener. I cannot believe just what happened. I'm trying to process what happened. I don't trust the Doug Peterson process, but I trust this Eagles team right now because as a team, this is a damn good team. God damn, Doug Peterson keeps holding them back. So even when Blount was getting carries in the second half, Doug is running him wide. Like, what are you doing, man? But, man, at the end of the day, they won this game. And this shows a lot of character. Because even though, there was a battle of dopes out there, because McAdoo is just as stupid. Oh, they're both atrocious. As bad as both coaches were, for the Eagles to pull this one out. Because when they were down 21-14, I'm sure a lot of people were like, oh, this game is done. And this game, for a while, it reminded me a lot of that Cowboys game from a couple years back. Remember? That's when everybody started to hate Chip. And that's when E-Rock came out with that viral video about Chip. He walked right out of the stadium. Chip never recovered, and he was done by the end of the year. But the Eagles in this situation, they did not fold. They did not lose. They bounced back. It was 21-14. They came right down the field, tied it up, and they won this game. And it was set up because of stupidity by the Giants, poor execution at the end from Ben McAdoo. Again, Ben McAdoo out-doping Doug today. So poor execution. You have the penalty. You have the terrible punt by Brad Wing. Alshon Jeffrey with the completion on the right sideline. And then boom, boom, boom. Let's have a moment of silence for the New York Giants 2017 season. It is all over. It is all over, New York. It is all done. It's going to be down to the Cowboys and the Eagles now. The Giants are done. They're done. Ben McAdoo is a joke. Stinks. He stinks. Oh, I cannot wait until the show tomorrow. Philly 500, the bitter Digbats, the battle of the Digbats today, seen on the gridiron between Ben McAdoo. That's, oh my God, that's. I never thought the slick back haircut could look bad, but he somehow pulls it off. He looks like such a tool out there with the hair and the glasses. Ugh, man. All right, so all right, let's look at the stats. I'm going to watch this game later to really dissect what happened because just unreal. So many. So LeGarrette Blount at the end of the day only had 12 carries. See, I know he had 6 at the half. He had 5 carries for 31 yards on that 18-play, 90-yard touchdown drive. You guys remember that huge drive in the first half? And they ran the ball like 11 times, 11 design runs, or 11 or 12 design runs on that drive. It was 12, actually, because Smallwood and Sproles on that drive carried it 7 times for 17 yards. Blount on carries up the middle was 5 for 31. And I thought that this was an area that the Eagles were just, in the second half, they were going to exploit and just keep pounding Blount up the middle. And for whatever reason, they just refused to do it. It was Smallwood getting carries. It was, I mean, it's like almost as if like Doug Peterson, he has this chart before the game and he charts out how he's going to call everything, and he just sticks to it. He has no feel for what's going on in the game. LeGarrette Blount is completely dominating. The Eagles should have won this game by 2 touchdowns. They really should have. LeGarrette Blount was dominating. They should have run the ball, and they would have scored some points in the second half. But you know, Doug, he just stays away from the obvious. And I'm baffled sometimes. I'm just baffled. Because at the end of the day, I think the Giants are a really bad football team. I think Ben McAdoo is a joke of a coach. I don't think this Giants team is any good at all. We were the first defense to let them have 24 points or 20-plus points in 8 games. So, hey, it's like there's like so many takeaways from this game. It's like amazing the resiliency that they showed, and then it's like then you see Doug and all this chicanery again. You know, the misuse of the running backs and stuff like that. But I do like the fact that they made the switch to left guard to Wisniewski. Warmack gave up that early sack. He was done. Wisniewski came in. Overall, the run blocking was good. And on the touchdown with Clement, Jason Kelce with the pull. I mean, that's what the O-line does best on the outside sweeps and stuff like that. So that was a well-executed play. And they went up. So Wendell Smallwood, 12 carries, 71 yards, at a 5.9 average. Blount, 12 for 67. Clement, 6 for 22. So 39 carries, 193 yards in all. Wentz had 6 carries, so 33 design runs. And then Wentz with 31 carries, or 31 pass attempts. So more even distribution. And I thought the offense looked better as a whole because, you know, like, but just got to freaking get it right with Blount, Doug. That's all. Let's see. Zach Ertz, 8 catches for 55 yards and a touchdown. At the end of the day, the box score looks great, but he dropped the touchdown, and then he had that fumble too. So he's got to get some, yeah. And then Jeffrey had 4 for 56, but Jenkins pretty much shut him down. So, hey, this is unbelievable, though. Who would have thought Jake Elliott would have come in here? That little shrimp, that little pipsqueak, man. Now the biggest pipsqueak on the team is Donnell Pumphrey. The only pipsqueak on the team left is Donnell Pumphrey. He's the only one. That little pipsqueak. All right, so let's see. Yeah, so I'm trying to see that they didn't sack Eli Manning once. And that's interesting because when this Eagles defensive line, when this front seven does not pressure the quarterback, we saw what we saw today. Eli Manning, 35 of 47, 366 yards. So he picked the Eagles apart. They really missed McLeod in the secondary. On the touchdown to Shepard, the deep one, Maragos took a poor angle, so that led to the 21-14 score. You had Mills got beat deep initially by Beckham, and then Jenkins had the flag. So the only guy that really impressed me out of the secondary was Rasul Douglas, and he continues to make progression. So we saw last week, him following his eyes, following his instincts in the short passing game, and being able to make quick tackles. And then today we see the ball skills. He led college football in interceptions last year. So we see it on the deep ball to Brandon Marshall. I mean, he was all over it. Rode the hip of the receiver down the left sideline and went up and got the interception. He made it look easy, made it look routine. And that was a thing of beauty. Oh, that was unbelievable. But unfortunately, no deep penetration. I wanted to come on here and talk about Fletcher Cox and talk about the deep penetration that they were going to have on this Giants offensive line. But they did a pretty good job today. Now, they had a game plan of getting the ball out quick, and it kind of worked for them. By the time the third quarter rolled around, they were really picking the secondary apart. But Eric Flowers, man, he still stinks. He had that holding penalty on Vinny Curry. That was bad. He got beat clean right there. So Giants stats: Sterling Shepard, 7 catches, 133 yards and a touchdown. Odell Beckham, 9 receptions, 79 yards and those 2 scores. So he thought it'd be funny to take a whiz on the field. And yeah, so I'm glad that the Eagles won because of him. Because it's dude, I'm not gonna lie to you. When I started seeing him go in the end zone, like to return that ball, if that kick would have come up short, oh, that would have scared the shit out of me. So thank God, Jake, that you were able to get it through the goalpost and you had enough leg. Oh, 5'9". 170 pounds. He will always live in infamy here in Philadelphia. Caleb Sturgis lost his job today. Rest in peace to Caleb Sturgis. Jake Elliott, the new hero in Philadelphia. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And he hit a clutch 46-yarder too. So maybe it was the Bengals who screwed up and gave up on him too early. They kept Randy Bullock. It seems like they're off to an awful start. So, maybe they just made a mistake on Jake Elliott, even though he did stink in the preseason. This is unbelievable. Missed that first kick, and I couldn't believe it. And then now he bounces back, and he hits this 61-yarder. Oh, just add it to the lore in this infamous rivalry. Miracle at the Meadowlands. I don't even know what to call this one. I don't know what to call this one. This is unbelievable. Unfreaking believable. Wow. So what else happened today? Like, they were able to get the running game going against the Giants as well. It's statistically, the Giants came in not ranked well against the run, but they were able, like last year, obviously, like that's still a great front seven. But I was thinking, it would still be, kind of tough sledding for the Eagles. And the Eagles really came out. They really ran the ball really well. I loved it. I love that. I love that Doug stuck to the run. I didn't agree with how they utilized all their backs to it, but I like that he stuck with it. So I'll give him a positive there. All right, you stuck with the run. I mean, by God, we all cheered when LeGarrette Blount finally got a carry. I mean, the first couple drives, my head was just like pounding. I needed to take like 6 Tylenol because the first drive, but the first play of the game, my head was already throbbing. You had LeGarrette Blount in there and you did a play action. Your running game has been completely ineffective through 2 games, and you think that on the first play of the game, you're just going to do a play action. It's just going to work. Nope. That was a sack. So they go 3-and-out on their first drive, and then the second drive, I believe they did like something stupid as well. So again, you had a battle of Dumb and Dumber out there, a battle of dopes, a battle of dingbats between Ben McAdoo and Doug Peterson. And I know I know the fans in New York. They don't really like Ben McAdoo. They don't like him at all. That's funny. Remember, there was a report. It's whether this is true or not, that the Eagles were interested in Ben McAdoo, and because of that, the Giants swooped in and they signed him. And then and there you go. Maybe the Eagles and Jeffrey Lurie, they played the Giants here. Played him. Back McAdoo back to New York because they knew he was a joke. Oh, that slick back haircut, those stupid glasses. Biggest tool in New York right now is Ben McAdoo. Oh, all right, let's see. What else happened today? Michael Kendricks continues to make plays. I mean, he did. There were a couple times in coverage where, he missed a couple, but, dude, the deflection, and then he had a couple flash plays in run defense as well. So he continues an unbelievable start. It's unreal. Like, I don't know what happened here, but something. I don't know if it's he knows like Eric Kendricks, his brother, is playing ball right now, and maybe he wants to be the better brother. I don't know. Maybe pride finally came into play for Kendricks. I don't know. Something. But he's gotten his head out of his ass, and he's playing well. Unbelievable. Yeah, okay, there's Bradham, 8 tackles I'm seeing. I'll have to watch it back and see how Patrick Robinson did it. It seemed like he wasn't that bad watching it first glance. Rasul Douglas, again, he was the one that caught my eye in the secondary. It was him. Jalen Mills had a rough day, but, that going up against Odell Beckham, I mean, what do you expect? Chris Maragos, yeah, he struggled. Timmy Jernigan, I like what I saw from Timmy Jernigan. So, all right. Yeah. All right, I'll take a look at some comments. Let's see. See if I can get to them since I'm doing this solo. All right. Yeah, Eli did get the ball out quick. Yeah, I mean, I talked about that in the pre-show. Like they were going to try and get the ball out quick, probably max protect, some chipping, and they did a good job. So I mean, they can't run the ball. So I mean, like the Giants are going to run into trouble when they have to face a good secondary because they're one-dimensional. I mean, they can't run the ball whatsoever because of that offensive line. So still fired Doug. Yeah, I mean, I hate that I've been so negative in this show, but like this game was so weird. It was just strange. Just the way everything played out because it was 14-0 and the Eagles were thoroughly dominating this game, and then all of a sudden the crazy shit just started happening. And crazy shit started happening because Doug Peterson allowed it to happen. That's kind of the way I see it. And then it's like at the end of the day, it's like, okay, they overcame Doug's stupidity. But at the end of the day, it kind of shows how much they've grown as a team because this was a resilient win. I mean, last year, think about it. Like, how many times did Wentz kind of have that late attempt to score a touchdown or score a game-tying field goal or a go-ahead field goal, and they weren't able to do it? And they did it a couple times here today. So that shows the resiliency part, that the offense was absolutely – they had their back against the wall, man. It was 21-14. And they come and, they went right down the field every time. I mean, even the 61-yard field goal, man, like – to make that play to Jeffrey with 7 seconds left, it's clutch, man. So, here you go. Jake Elliott is clutch. Yeah, clutch. That's how NFC East division games go. I mean, but hey, man, this was a game where it shouldn't have been as close as it was. I don't feel like it, but it wound up being close. Yeah. Now, I will just say this real quick. because I do want to stay out of the political stuff. But I thought, what the Eagles did in the pregame was classy, with the unification of everyone with the arms. And you had Jeffrey Lurie standing next to Malcolm Jenkins, and he had his fists in the air, and I thought that was awesome. So that's all I'm going to say about that. I'm going to keep, everyone has a different opinion on this matter, and I'm going to stick to sports, so this isn't something I'm going to get into. But I thought what the Eagles did was classy. Donald Trump, he's just going to say whatever the fuck he wants to say. So whatever. That's how I feel about that, and that's it. That's all I'm going to say about that. But this is a game we're always going to remember. We're going to always remember this game. Oh my goodness. Jake Elliott is the best Elliott in the NFL. There you go. Man. I felt like, they were generating so much push through the offensive line on the interior today. And they still and Doug kind of still just refused to run the ball with Doug up the middle. It was kind of strange. Even though they ran the ball so well. Yeah. I couldn't talk normal after the first 2 minutes of the show. I had to calm down and drink some water. So I know from now on when I'm really, really excited, I got to calm down. I lost my voice. That was unbelievable. Yeah, we'll see what happened with Sproles. That's something to take a look at later. Jalen Mills is what he is. He's an average cornerback, and when you go against somebody that's elite, that's what's going to happen to you. So, that's when the reason why that happened was because unfortunately the defensive line wasn't able to get pressure on Eli, and the Giants actually did have the plan of getting the ball out quick, and they were able to neutralize the Eagles' pass rush. It's crazy because Giants had the same offensive line last year, and the Eagles were only able to generate 1 sack in 2 games. And then today, weren't able to generate a sack at all. So, you got to give a ton of credit to Carson for keeping his cool, driving down the field. Yeah, it's the thing with Wentz. It's awesome that we're seeing that already. At the same time, I do want to see some better accuracy on his deep balls because he missed one today. He missed a touchdown today. And Alshon Jeffrey's also on my fantasy team, so I got double fucked on that one. But he had him deep down the left sideline, and it was an ugly throw. And this, the statistics in the first 2 games, he was 4 of 15 coming in on passes 20+ yards or more downfield. So, hey, this is something you can tighten up. This is something it's just he's still going through those mechanical changes. But it's crazy. It's as nitpicky as we can be. It's okay, you talk about that, but then the cool under pressure, the fact that he's able to make these unbelievable plays on 3rd down, the 3rd and 8, and he's able to make 18 Giants miss and get a 1st down. I mean, there's just shit that you can't teach there, and it's unbelievable. So that's just unreal that he's able to escape the way he can and make magic happen. So there's still things he needs to clean up. I mean, he's still in his 2nd year. There's something that we have to realize. I'll bring it up on this show. It's called the Rule of 5, right? The Rule of 5 theory is basically this. I'll try to explain as quickly as possible. But the Rule of 5 theory, in quarterback sense, the 5th year is when you really take that stride into your prime. Cam Newton, his 5th year, won the MVP. Russell Wilson had his career year, his 5th year. That's when they really, really take the big leap. But the first leap is the 3rd year. And even though we're seeing progression this year with Wentz, next year's really the year when I think he's really going to take off. Derek Carr last year was in his third year, 28 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. I don't, but he was unreal his second year. He had 32 touchdowns and 13 interceptions. You don't just see 30-plus touchdowns put up. And you look at Winston and Mariota, these two guys, they're in their third year right now. And I expect like big leaps from them this year. So with Wentz, there's still things that he's figuring out. And that's something that we have to keep in mind. Is as great as he looks, we do as great as he looks, there's still things that he needs to work on and things he is going to get better at. But I mean, you just see the raw potential, and it's there, and he's oozing greatness, and I just can't wait to see how he builds into that frame and builds into that career and builds his legacy here in Philadelphia. So there we go. All right, let's see what else we got in the comments. Would you start Mills or Douglas once Darby comes back? The way Douglas is playing, I mean, I got to see what his snap count is. I don't know if they've been playing him consistently or not, but yeah, the thing about the Chargers, just seeing that, they're about to go what? Oh, they're going to go 0-3? Oh no, never mind. It's 14-7 now. I saw it was 14-0 earlier, but that Chargers team is depleted in the secondary. I thought that this Chargers game was a game that might be tough for the Eagles. It's might be a little bit of a trap game, but if with their secondary being depleted and he being out, Verrett, this might be a game that the Eagles can win. So, yeah. Where's Nelson? We can't find him. I'm going to have to go to the police, go to the detective, file a missing persons report. We have been unable to locate Nelson Agholor. He is lost. He is MIA. Yeah, they did play a lot of soft coverage today, because they got up 14-0, so they were keeping everything in front of them. And then before you knew it, Eli really started getting into a groove and started picking the Eagles' secondary apart. So Torrey Smith does need to stop the drops. Do you think that field goal was luck? I mean, he does have a strong leg. He's known for his strong leg. So, hey, it happened to the Eagles before with Matt Bryant and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It happened to us. We returned the favor. And it just happened to be the Giants that it happened against. So there you go. Maragos killed us. Yeah. Yeah, this week was upsets. There was a lot of upsets. I actually picked a lot of upsets this week, but like upsets against the spread. Yeah. EDP and I are going to do a show later. You think our D-line will bounce back next week? Yeah, I hope so. I mean, Chargers' offensive line isn't like the best thing in the world. So I think the Eagles will win the division, yeah. But I do, dude, Doug Peterson really needs to get his play calling straightened out. Because we'll see what happens in the coming weeks with the Giants. But I think they stink. I think they're terrible. It's like miraculous that the Eagles won this game. It's amazing. It's this huge rush of adrenaline that they were able to win this game, 61-yard field goal. And then the reality is like, well, the Giants really should have never been in this freaking game to begin with. It's because of Doug Peterson. Wentz has said it plenty of times, if you drop the ball, I'm coming right back to you. Yeah, I mean, it's huge to get the division win. Do you think our D has been exposed in New York the way New York played us today? I mean, it's this is what teams were doing last year. It's not really a secret. I mean, when you're able to get quick 3-step passing game going, and you got receivers as talented as Sterling Shepard and Odell Beckham, this is what can happen. I mean, the Redskins week 1, you had Terrell Pryor and a couple guys, but you're also looking at a situation there in Washington where you got all these new receivers with Kirk Cousins. They're trying to still build a rapport, and then I don't think the Eagles secondary really faced competition until today, and yeah, so they got burned. Guys were getting open right away too. Like a couple of sacks before are coverage sacks. So it is intertwined with the defensive line and the cornerbacks. If the cornerbacks coverage was better, then all of a sudden Eli's getting off his first read, has to go to through his progressions, and that gives the defensive line more time to get to the quarterback. So I think today was more the cornerbacks than the D line. That's the way I look at it. I feel like if this was last year, we would have lost this game. I actually kind of agree with that. Yeah, D-line was mitigated by the quick pass game. There's nothing that actually, there's nothing wrong with the D-line. Today was more about secondary play than the D-line. If when you're able to get the ball up that quick and your receivers are getting wide open initially, I mean, that's what's going to happen. Your D-line is going to get negated. So, yeah, I know. It's funny. Jake Elliott is a hero now. Everybody wanted him cut, including myself. I want him cut on the spot. And then now he's going to be going down into Eagles lore. And who knows? He might be here for a while because he probably just beat out Caleb Sturgis for the kicking job for the rest of the year. Yeah, we definitely got complacent. Like, I came on here and, I didn't want to be negative, but I feel like okay, you're 2-1, you are 2-0 in the division. That's great. But there is some shit that you got to clean up if you want to win this division. You look sleepy as fuck. Dude, it's I've been I was out late last night. And then, I'm just so busy with shit right now, so I'm not getting a lot of sleep. Yeah, I got maybe 4 or 5 hours of sleep. I'm ready to go though. We'll see. Steelers should have come out for national anthem. Man, I'm not going to get into that stuff. I'm just going to, the run game needs to be solidified. I feel like the run game. Let's see. Let me see if I can think this out. I feel like the run game is solidified. They've been able to run the ball well, but I don't feel like Doug uses his running backs right. So I feel like that's what's happening. I mean, LeGarrette Blount, when I saw what he was doing in the first half, I thought, okay, all right, so his carries are being limited because Doug is preserving him for the second half. I thought in the second half he was going to get 15 carries. I thought they were going to run the ball down the Giants' throat. I thought LeGarrette Blount was just going to keep getting carry after carry after carry, churning out 4, 5, 6 yards at a time. I thought that was going to be the plan coming out in the second half. Instead, it was you had Smallwood coming out there, and they let the Giants back in the game. So that's what I saw with the running back situation. Again, I'll say it again because I said it earlier in the show. That one touchdown drive in the first half, 18 plays, 90 yards. Blount had 5 carries for 33 yards, and then Smallwood and Sproles 7 for 17. So when Blount was in the game, they were running the ball more effectively. And then in the second half, when Blount was getting carries, he was being run out wide. It just boggled my mind how Doug was utilizing him. Now, I understand that you do want to run Blount out wide maybe once or twice a game just to keep the defense honest. But if he's only getting 6 carries in the second half, he shouldn't be running wide at all. Not at all. Up the middle, especially with how consistent they were churning out 4, 5, 6 yards at a time. This is easy, folks. If something works, you keep going to it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. This is very simple. Kind of hard to run the hot hand when all the hands are hot. I didn't necessarily believe that per se, because Blount was the guy they should have went to, because that would have put the game away. They should have been able to come out in the second half and put this game away. Let's see. All right, these. Wentz is a monster in the pocket, but needs to relax a little more on going deep. Feel like he's rushing it. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to look that up. That'll be something we will definitely look at on the when we do the film study on Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever Brendan and I decide to do it. We'll look at some of his throws and break him down, because he isn't perfect right now, and that's okay. He doesn't have to be perfect right now. He's in his second year. You know, he's still going through some mechanical flaws and still going through some shit. But I'll tell you what, he looks like a heck of a fucking quarterback. Yeah, the ball placement isn't always perfect. It's all with his feet. Like his feet got to get better. So, all right. That about wraps it up here. I'm going to go write my Philly Influencer recap, so make sure to check that out later. And then EDP and I don't know when this is going to happen, but I know he's at Buffalo Wild Wings right now. He's going to hit me up when he gets back, and we're going to do a show later. So that's what we're going to do. But for right now, I'm going to end this. So this is my recap for Week 3. Eagles beat the Giants 27-24. And there you go. So Jake Elliott, the hero today.